What's up everyone, my name's PT from Charlie Intel, and today I'm joined with Wizite, Benny Central, Mr. Dalek JD, and Unknown Player to talk about Black Ops 3. So we saw the official reveal trailer and we saw some new and interesting things we haven't seen before about Black Ops 3 and learnt some new and interesting facts also. And with us we have Mr. Dalek JD, who's actually played Black Ops 3, so he's probably a good person to have in here and kind of walk us through some of the things we might not know about the game just yet. So firstly I want to jump into how we're all doing. So how are we all doing?
I'm hyped.
Doing good.
Excellent.
Doing good, mate. I'm back in black.
Oh wow, great. Right, let's get smashing.
I'm just jealous at John's play.
I know. Right, so let's jump into the first bit, which is, of course, one of the things that many people are talking about, and that is the kind of jumping abilities or exo movements. So, Advanced Warfare has had a negative, overall impression within the Call of Duty community in terms of its exosuit abilities. They don't like the double jumping, they don't like the fact that you can just jump on top of buildings and so on. And they kind of want Call of Duty to go back to more of a grounded experience whereby we can just walk along the ground and that's pretty much it, and go up a ladder every so often or climb some stairs. So given the fact that the trailer has completely taken away the fact that it won't just be walking on the ground anymore, what are your opinions on the fact that we're going to be getting new wall running abilities and jetpack abilities and also using weapons whilst moving? So I don't know if you want to start, Mr. Dalek JD, considering of course you've played it.
Yeah. Well, like, there's a lot of I don't even know if that's the right word to use. Skepticism. It's probably not even a word. People are being very skeptical about all the new movement sets in Black Ops 3, like the thrust jump. Now, what you need to understand is it's not an exo jump. Like, when I sat down and was presented with this, literally Vonderhaar said this about 7-8 times in a row. He just went, this is not an exo jump. This is not an exo jump. Not exo suits. So, like, with Advanced Warfare, when you double tap the A button,
Can you do that again,
jump.
Dalek?
Yeah, it's not an exo jump. When you normally double tap the A button to jump in Advanced Warfare, you go like very high up in the air, but it's always the same height and that's it. With this thrust jump in Black Ops 3, it's got some sort of power meter underneath the crosshair, so it's kind of like, imagine like a half, like a semicircle almost. And like, you have a certain amount of energy where you can thrust up into the air. You can go up to a certain height, but it's quite slow at first, and you'll gradually build up speed to get to height. But it's not ridiculous heights like Advanced Warfare.
So it's
and
sorry to interrupt you. So it's very similar to the Titan jump in Destiny. If you guys have played it,
in a way, I'd say yes, but the Titan jump in Destiny is ridiculous. Am I right?
What compared?
In terms of height.
In terms of height, yeah,
But-
that's a ridiculous height.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
let's
What about
put it
more
this way.
like the Warlock? You know, like the hover.
Yeah, that's a lot slower.
Like that slow
Yeah,
kind
it's
of
a lot slower,
increase
isn't
thing
it?
hover.
But,
So you were
but
saying-
Yeah.
can't the Warlock go higher? Anyway, moving on.
So you were saying that let's imagine that I'm playing Advanced Warfare right now, and of course I double jump. I can get into the air within probably like half a second. Okay.
Yeah.
So let's now assume that I'm going to double jump in, or not that you can even double jump anyway in Black Ops 3, right? There's no double
No, you
jump.
can't. It's not.
Okay.
It's not a double jump.
So let's say I jump in any sense of the word. I just decide to jump. How long would it take me to reach the peak altitude of my jump?
Probably about 4 or 5 seconds.
Wow.
Really?
It's more like a slow hover. Like
Yeah,
I said,
yeah.
like you gradually build up speed to a certain height, but eventually you're going to run out of thrust power and you're just going to drop down to the ground.
Afloat.
That's
But
pretty
the thing-
insane.
Is
The
there
thing-
falling damage?
I
Good question.
honestly can't remember.
Okay.
I honestly I don't want to answer that in case I answer it wrong, but honestly I don't remember.
So what about
But,
wall running as well? Is that kind of to the extremity of something like Titanfall, or is it very much like you can kind of like run up like 1 meter up the wall and that's pretty much it?
In a sense, it is a lot like Titanfall's wall running. It's not like some silly gimmick that they put in the game. That you can't do it on every single wall. There's like parts of the map where they've built it specifically for the wall running. You'll know it's there because it's like just a massive wall. And to wall run, you have to look at it from an angle, and you sprint jump towards it, and you're sprinting and you're on the wall. But like just like with real life, eventually like the gravity will pull you down, so you slowly fall down the wall, almost
Yeah.
like a kind of like a curve.
Yep.
So to keep
So
your
you arc
momentum
down.
up,
Yeah.
to keep your momentum going, if there's any like walls that are like on the other side of where you're running to, you can jump, you can thrust jump over to that wall, and you'll keep your momentum. But eventually, like I mentioned, that curve where you'll fall down. But you can aim down sights, you can fully use your gun throughout all these different movements. And like Vonderhaar said that they're using like a philosophy called guns up. he even said like hashtag guns up. He's like, we want every movement to be like where you can fully like operate your gun whilst everything's going on.
I get you. So like full on run
See,
and gun.
This is no, it's the thing that I'm kind of excited about as well, because I know in like Advanced Warfare you could always just really overuse all your extra movement and everything like that. And it appears from what I've seen so far in Black Ops 3 and heard that it's more kind of more situational. So you're not just going to be able to just go, all right, cool, I'm just going to jump all over the place and be impossible to hit like it sometimes was in Advanced Warfare. It's going to be a lot more kind of, okay, this bit of the map that you're going to be able to do this. And then it's kind of just learning the maps and the best way to chain your movement abilities together to get around the quickest.
Yeah,
Sounds about right.
Yeah,
Do
they
you
were
have
like,
to use these wall running sections of the map?
No,
Are they a
no.
massive part of the map, or are they 2 or 3 per map?
no, they're absolutely not necessary to use. You can get to where the walls will lead you to just by going a different route. It's just up to you if you want to use that specific route.
Mm-hmm.
Would you be to a disadvantage if you decide not to wall run though? That's the question.
Yeah.
No, I wouldn't say you would. It's just you'd be going into an area where it's completely grounded. That's the only difference.
But are you saying that that you're not at a disadvantage? Did you use the other routes without running on the wall? Did you try out like the grounded routes, or were you so excited that you just ran on the walls?
Yeah, I played like one map where when you spawned, there was a left side where you went through a building and it was just completely grounded. There was the middle lane which took you up like an elevated set of stairs, and then you could jump off like a sort of how can I explain it? Kind of like a platform, hop down onto the middle of the map. Or there was the right lane, which was a wall running section where you ran on a wall on the left, you jumped onto a wall on the right, and then you could jump onto a wall that's like sort of in front of you to the left, which took you to the middle of the map anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like it's just optional routes.
How many maps?
Sorry, the thing that I'm kind of looking at. All right, you quickly go.
Sorry. How many maps did you play?
Sorry, James, you go.
I played 3 maps.
And were all 3 laid out like that?
No, the map I'm describing, there was quite an obvious wall running section. There was a snowy map where there was another section on the wall that was less obvious. From one of the spawn routes, it was like you go into a building, on the second floor there was like a smashed window and you could see a wall that you could wall run off. But besides that, the third map I played, which had like a massive waterfall in the middle, don't think there was any wall running walls on that.
Oh, nice.
Okay.
Sorry, just saying, looking at it from like a competitive point of view,
Yeah.
right? Are the wall runs actually going to be kind of like a thing that you're going to be completely out in the open and quite easy to take out from like a head glitch or a power position? Because from what I've seen in the trailer, it just seems like there is going to be no cover whatsoever when you're running across one of these walls, and this looks like someone's just going to be able to set up shop with like an AR or something and just pick you off every single time you go for a wall run.
Yeah, I'd say that with the wall running, you are quite an easy target, but the fact that where the wall running spots aren't particularly like important or popular parts of the maps, so I don't think you'll find that issue too much.
So they're not overpowered then, no?
No, not overpowered at all.
Okay, cool.
Okay, so
Optional.
let's move on to the specialist characters now, and I guess this kind of ties
I'm
into
really excited about this.
this kind of ties into you, Wizard, as well, of course, because you are a huge Destiny player, and this is a big part of Destiny. So this is obviously your
This scares
area.
me.
Your area of expertise. But anyway, let's cover this for a bit. So what we do know so far is that there's the Ruin, is it Seraph,
Yeah,
Outrider, and Reaper. The Reaper sounds very interesting with its glitch ability, by the way. That sounds very interesting.
Definitely.
So
Yeah.
what are our general opinions initially before we kind of go into more detail? What do we think about this as a change for the Call of Duty kind of scene itself? And do you think the transfer of this system from Destiny is a good thing for Call of Duty? Do you think it's going to be a good thing overall, or do you think this is making it far too complicated for what is normally just a very simple, easy to pick up and play game? And now they're kind of mixing in complications, should I say, which are making it more of a PvP type thing. That's probably wrong, but go ahead, hit me.
You want to go first?
I don't know if Wizard, do you want to start first?
I like the
James.
classes in Destiny. Each class has a different ability, obviously, and I can only imagine that's going to be the same in Black Ops 3. Each class have a different ability, and in certain maps, one class will be good on one map, and so on and so forth. My big question is, are you going to be able to have loadouts of different classes in terms of like the Ruin, the Seraph? Like if you have 5, can you have like 1 Ruin, 1 Seraph, or whatever the name is? Or do you have to play as that character? Or as that class, shall I say?
When you're in a multiplayer lobby and you're setting up your creator class and everything like that, you have creator class, you have your score streaks, then you have your specialist. You select these before any multiplayer game, but you're not tied to one forever. Right. Like after a game, you can just pick whichever one you want to play as. If you decided you don't like a certain ability or you did like the certain weapon of a specialist, you can just pick the others.
Right. So is a specialist kind of like a perk?
It's sort of like a perk. Like,
right, okay.
Like I was really skeptical when it was presented because I was like, what the heck have they done to multiplayer? Like, this seems very kind of they said there's some elements from RPG games, which is what influenced them to bring it in. But in actual like respect from playing it, it's just like an additional layer to think about when you play multiplayer. It's not something that I'd be too worried about. They said it just adds an extra dynamic that makes multiplayer really fun.
So it's kind of like an exo ability in somewhat in Advanced Warfare, right? Or is that
sort of in a way?
To the same degree, like it kind of enhances you in a certain manner.
Yeah, it enhances you, and the fact that everyone has their own like choosing makes every sort of like situation a little bit different.
That's pretty cool.
You pick between like you can either have the power weapon that belongs to that specialist or the ability that they have. You can't use both at the same time. So you earn.
Wait, do you choose? Sorry, do you choose that before you go into the game, or do you choose it? Can you go right? I can use this one or that.
You choose everything before the game. Like you can't decide if you don't like a certain specialist mid game. You can't change the weapon or the ability or the character you're using. You just got to stick with that.
What do you think about this, Andrew? Because you actually played Destiny as well. So if you've chosen the weapon, you have to go with the weapon.
Yeah, I'm liking the sounds of it. It seems like it's definitely going to be very crazy because I was quite surprised they have this in addition to score streaks. Like a lot of people can forgetting score streaks are also in this game. That's going to be a whole nother. Like there's going to be helicopters. There's going to be like just like I think the RCXDs, like the floating ones that can drive on walls. There's going to be all sorts of crazy stuff in addition to these characters. So it seems like there's going to be a lot of ways to do things other than just shoot people with your guns. There's going to be ways to like all of these abilities sound pretty crazy. So it seems like there's a lot going on at one time. And I don't know. It sounds like these characters are very unique. Like I'm looking forward to see what other characters are going to be. Like I can imagine, like myself, there'll probably some kind of like special character that's based around melee attacks, and there'll probably be like even more like diversity because you've got one that's like based like Ruin seems to be kind of like that brute kind of tank type class where he just kind of like smashes stuff, and he's got that super speed ability. And then you've got the one with the hand cannon, the is Annihilator it's called.
Yeah.
That seems a little bit more like, I don't know how to describe it, but it seems a bit more tactical. And then you got the robot, which is just like got a minigun on his arm, so it seems very just kind of like out there. And I imagine, is it 9 in total classes? It seems like there's a lot of variety. Yeah. So I'm looking forward to, like, I really want to see what other characters are going to bring in and kind of how different they all are. And it's definitely going to mix things up a lot, I think.
Definitely does sound very interesting. And moving on to another point also, which is not necessarily too much of an issue, but supply drops, it's not returning in Black Ops 3. Are we too bothered about this?
Because
no! You see, the thing is, I actually think that's kind of added an element to Call of Duty to some degree of benefit.
I agree.
I think it's just added an element of surprise, I guess, and it's kind of cool that you can earn them whilst playing the game. But I can only assume that they're going to have something similar because, of course, they're not going to copy the same system. But it's not a huge point, but supply drops have actually become a big part of Advanced Warfare. And it's almost to the point that I believe that if by them not having a similar system in Black Ops 3, that people are actually going to miss that. If that makes any sense.
Yeah, I feel like they've got to add something similar because, obviously Activision want to make money. So, like, Activision can make money from supply drops. And also, I feel like the majority of the community really likes the aspects of supply drops. Some people are a little bit, like, on and off about the variants and maybe elite weapons and how you can buy advanced supply drops. But I think the idea of a supply drop is definitely something that 99% of people like about Advanced Warfare. And whether they add some things, because it's called the Gunsmith in Black Ops 3, whether they add some sort of, maybe it's only camos that you can get in these packages, whatever they may be, or whether it's like something a little bit non-lethal as like a weapon which has plus damage. I think there's like they I think it's likely they'll add something because it kind of makes sense because the players enjoy it and they make a lot of money from it. But Treyarch could just be set against it. So if Treyarch doesn't like the idea of something like that, maybe they won't want to add it. But I think it would definitely make sense for them to add something like that.
For sure, for sure. What about you?
I think it'd work as well, just for the pure reason they've got the gunsmith and the new kind of gun camo creation, so they could put different patterns or something like that in supply drops. There's tons of stuff they can do with it. And maybe not go back the whole element of like elite weapons and stuff like that. I don't think that was kind of the right way to go because it gave people an unfair advantage at times. But just some form of reward, whether it's a cool looking camo or a different hat to wear or something like that, is just something cool, and it's always fun to open stuff. So hopefully they bring something. But yeah.
I think it's just the element of surprise that kind of keeps people playing as well. It's like you get them at random, essentially, you know. But anyway, guys, I don't want to go on for too much longer because we've covered like 3 main subjects, which have actually gone on for a bit longer than I thought. But of course, we could always do another video and go in more depth in terms of other aspects of what we found out about Black Ops 3. Any last thoughts about what you think about Black Ops 3 so far? Are you pretty hyped and wanting to play at E3 if you're all going?
Yeah, definitely. I think it's like it's very weird for it to be playable at E3. That's definitely a first for like ever, I think.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's gonna be cool. Like the world gets their own hands on in the beta, so everyone can play it for themselves instead of like
wait for the beta.
Yeah,
it's gonna be hype. It's gonna be hype.
That's gonna be 2 weeks of my life down the drain.
Well, anyway, that's the end of this episode. Thank you to Wizite, Benny Central, Mr. Dalek J, and Unknown Player for joining me in this particular episode. We might have another one coming up very soon where we talk about even more subjects. Let us know if you want us to talk about particular ones because, of course, Mr. Dalek JD has actually played this game, so he's probably the best person to ask any questions you might have. So leave it in the comment section below, and if he's willing to come on to another episode, which I'm sure he is, you are, right?
Yeah, cool.
Of course you are. Cool. Then in that case, we'll hopefully answer some more of your questions. Thank you for watching, guys. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to smash that like button. And as always, please be sure to subscribe for all Charlie Intel content going forward on this channel. And of course, we might have some exclusive Black Ops 3 gameplay coming up in the future. Who knows? We have done it for the last couple of years. So it'd be cool to subscribe just in case. Again, guys, thanks for watching and see you in the next video. Goodbye.